Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome back to another video in the Ultra League. So these are my battles that I did in the Ultra League, and I went 14-1. I actually think I did a little bit better than 14-1. I think I went like 16-1 before we had the second worst, but I only have the 14-1 in this video. And the team is going to be Defense Deoxys in the lead with Cresselia as a safe swap and Pidgeot as a closer. And I love Pidgeot in the back because if they have one Pokemon left, and you debuff them with Feather Dance, they are permanently double debuffed, unless if they have a move that could boost their attack. Absolutely love it. So yeah, I mean, the team did well. If you don't have Deoxys, I think you can get away with using Obstagoon or another counter user. But yeah, I mean, Deoxys, I think is probably going to be better. It's just great. It's just great, you know, because Obstagoon would be weak to fighting, like Cresselia is weak to fighting. But yeah, Deoxys, definitely a great Pokemon. But let's go ahead and dive right into it and see what we got going on for us in these battles. And this is a long video. I think it's about 35 minutes. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the content. Thank you so much for watching. Of course, Cresselia does really well against Umbreon because you resist every move. Besides Psychic, if they have, you take neutral damage from the Psychic. They're actually going to go ahead and switch into Virizion. So I'm just going to throw these Sacred Swords. We're going to be able to get to another one. One more double kick will get us to another one. So can we get there? Let's find out. We do get there, but they actually win CMP, so they're going to get off their move first. I just let this go. Cresselia certainly did its job. We got the Virizion low, which is really nice. So we're going to go ahead and bring in Pidgeot and go for the farm down. I'm going to go ahead and let this go. And this is going to be a Sacred Sword. I knew it couldn't be a Stone Edge, so we're going to be able to farm down. Very nice. Get a little bit of extra energy. The Umbreon is low, so we'll see what comes in right now. And it's going to be Aggron, so we're going to go ahead and charge up a move and then switch into Deoxys. They're going to bring in their Pokemon, make a good catch, right? The Umbreon, but they actually shield that, which is totally fine. That's why I didn't even care about the catch. Like, if they catch on the Umbreon, that's totally fine because we want to get rid of the Umbreon, and that's exactly what we're going to be able to do. We're going to be able to count it down, and they do bring in their Aggron, and we're doing double super effective damage. We throw the Rock Slides just to pick up the shields. You don't really necessarily even have to at this point, or I don't really have to, but we do get that shield, and we throw another Rock Slide. Rock Slide is resisted, so again, we don't have to throw it. We just go for counters, but that's fine. And yeah, they're just going to concede that. That's going to be a great game, very well played to my opponent. We're able to win that one. Aggron is actually a Pokemon I wanted to try myself, believe it or not, because I think it's pretty good with all these flyers, right? Speaking of flyers, we have Charizard with Wing Attack. So, the Rock Slide is double super effective, doing massive damage. We know they win CMP. We get to about the same time, right? Get to it at the same time. So we're just going to go ahead and shield that one up, and we do correctly shield that. And they safe swap into Trevenant, so I bring in my Pidgeot. I saw so many Trevenants. I thought Trevenant would be less common because of all the Pidgeot and Charizard, but no, I see it quite often. So this is a great matchup, but unfortunately, we're not really going to be able to farm down because even though we're resisting the Seed Bomb and the Shadow Claws, it's still adding up. Now, to be honest, I go for the Great. I should have undercharged it fully. I shouldn't have even went for the Great, to be honest. I don't think, but either way, they do get to another move, and this is not going to KO me, so that's totally fine. We're going to be able to farm down the Trevenant. We do have energy, and in comes Ampharos. So we're going to go ahead and save that energy for the Charizard, and they are staying in with that Ampharos, which is a little bit scary, because that tells me that if they're staying with the Ampharos and they throw an attack, they might have Focus Blast. Now, I do expect Thunder Punch and Brutal Swing, so I'm hoping they're baiting and they don't have it, but they actually do have it. Well played, my friend. Well played. So we bring in Deoxys. Yeah, as I said, I was kind of expecting the Focus Blast because they threw an attack, but I still didn't want to give up the shield. And they do bring in Charizard. Now I'm going to go ahead and go for the Psycho Boost. I think I go for a Psycho Boost and then I go for a Rock Slide. They definitely have to shield this Charizard. So yeah, we're able to get to a Rock Slide. And even though we're double debuffed, this is going to do massive amounts of damage if they don't shield. And they actually don't shield. Now, it's not enough to KO because, as I said, we are double debuffed. But that is fine. We bring in Pidgeot. We want to get off the Feather Dance. Unfortunately, they get off their attack first. So I bring in Deoxys. And we're going for that farm down. We're going to be able to get it. You absolutely love to see it. And in comes Ampharos. And we're going to go ahead and shield this. Now, because they have Focus Blast, I didn't know if they would have Brutal Swing or Thunder Punch, but they actually do have Brutal Swing. But we still have Shield. We can protect ourselves, which we did. And then we farm down and we take that game. And that is going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. Moving on, Deoxys into Arcanine. So talk about spice. I like it. Okay, really, really spicy. So as I was battling Arcanine, I was trying to think what moves it had. I knew it had Wild Charge, and I think it has Flamethrower. I forgot it had Crunch, which it does. It does have Crunch, but I totally forgot about it. So they're going to be able to throw an attack, and I'm thinking Wild Charge, and I'm like, that's going to do a lot, so I do Shield, and after they use a Crunch, I'm like, oh yeah, they have Crunch. That's right. So that's totally fine. They do actually catch on their Giratina, so huge shout out to my opponent for that. Great catch. So Rock Slide is going to connect, and we bring in Pidgeot. We really had no choice but to bring in the Pidgeot. Like, even though they could have Ancient Power, and I think they do. No, never mind, they don't. Okay, so this trainer does not have Ancient Power. Ancient Power is a threat, but we still have to bring in the Pidgeot. So they're going to be able to throw another one at us. This is going to be another Dragon Claw. I knew a Brave Bird wouldn't KO, so I kind of want to throw a Feather Dance and then a Brave Bird, so I do go ahead and throw that Feather Dance. And that will debuff them. And they're going to be able to get off another attack totally fine. They're double debuffs, so we're just going to let this go. Dragon Claw, not going to be able to KO, and they actually do switch in Gyarados, so we're going to go ahead and go for another Feather Dance. I was kind of hoping they would shield this. They do not shield that, so good play there. We're able to get to a Brave Bird, though, thanks to that debuff. Could have just thrown straight Brave Bird instead of the Feather Dance, but to be honest, I don't think... I mean, it wouldn't have KO'd, I don't think. But either way, we take out that Gyarados, and now we're trying to switch into Cobalion right now. They farm us down, and then I decide not to switch into Cobalion. I decided to bring in my Deoxys, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. Totally fine. We're going to be able to throw the Psycho Boost. This should be enough to pick up the knockout or pick up a shield. We'll see what they decide to do. They do go ahead and shield that, and we're going to be able to get off another Psycho Boost. Absolutely incredible. So this Psycho Boost is, even though we're double debuffed, still enough to KO, and now we bring in the Cobalion, and now this is going to be a win. I assume they have Shadow Sneak because they didn't throw the Ancient Power against Pidgeot, right? And they do. We take neutral from that, but that's totally fine. They actually forfeit there, but we do get off a Stone Edge. And yeah, that's just forfeit. Great game, well played to my opponent. And we're going to be able to take that one. Yeah, I went from low 2300s, because I dropped a lot, to low 2500s. So a 200-point gain, absolutely amazing. Okay, Tapu Fini is not a good matchup because they do resist the counters. So I don't like this matchup. But you have to stay in. You really have to stay in, right? And I am staying in. I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm not gonna go into Cobalion. I guess you could go into Cobalion, but I'm not gonna go into it. I'm just gonna go ahead and stay in. We do take this attack. It's gonna be a Surf, so we do call that Surf. Very nice. And they do get off another one. I know this is another Surf. Do I shield it? I do shield it. This is tough. Again, I mean, you could win if they don't shield, but but you have to invest to shield. So yeah, definitely tough. They do go ahead and take that. Now all we need is a Psycho Boost to KO. And we do get off the Psycho Boost. So this is either going to KO or get the shield. And they decide not to shield. So that is totally fine. So Tapu Fini goes down and in comes Trevenant. And this is really good. Yes, they will get farm, but we do have a Pidgeot in the back that doesn't really care if they get farm. You know what I'm saying? So the only issue here is that we are down a shield. But we'll see what's in the back. And they are staying in. They do switch out into Registeel. So I do make another mistake here. I should have thrown the Feather Dance into the Registeel to debuff it. And I think I make that mistake a couple of times. You definitely want to debuff it. So then, obviously, you survive I mean, you survive a Focus Blast anyway, but you would survive it a lot better if you debuffed it. But we're going to be able to take that. And plus, like, you don't need energy against that Trevenant anyway, Pidgeot. So there's really no reason not to throw the Feather Dance. But that's fine. We throw a Sacred Sword there. They do go ahead and shield it. So we throw another one. That's awesome. So we're going to be able to throw this Sacred Sword. And I think I do. Yeah, I definitely do shield this one. Now, the switch time is coming up, so I am prepared for a catch. The switch time is up. And there it is. They switch out immediately. So I actually switch out immediately without even seeing that they switch out because I expected to switch. And they do switch. So that's very good for me. We're able to catch the C-Bomb on the Pidgeot. And Shadow Ball is totally fine. What we're doing is basically charging up max energy, going for the Feather Dance. Could have thrown the it doesn't really matter. We go for the Feather Dance. Yeah, Feather Dance is enough to KO. Now we just need a Brave Bird to KO this Registeel. And this is going to KO the Registeel. And that is going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent. And we're going to be able to take that one. So GG's. GG's. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. We do have Deoxys Defense into Wolverine. Definitely love this matchup. We do have one counter user and one double kick user. And they are staying in, totally fine. We don't have to shield anything from this Wolverine. We charge up just before they get to that Earthquake so we can get off the attack first. Don't throw right away, just in case they want to try and possibly catch. But that's fine. Again, we still have the Cresselia for this, even if they switch out of the Wolverine. They're going to be able to throw the Earthquake, but Deoxys is able to take it. Tapu Fini coming in, so again, a pretty tough matchup. We're going to go ahead and throw this. I think I throw this and then switch into Pidgeot, because Pidgeot doesn't like Wolverine, right? So yeah, we bring in Pidgeot right now. And they're going to be able to throw an attack at us. I think I let this one go. No, never mind. I shield it. And it is a Moonblast, so that's a good shield by me. And we're charging up, charging up, charging up. And I go for the Brave Bird because, I mean, they're not going to want to shield the Feather Dance, so they might let it go. And they do let it go. Very nice. And if Wolverine comes in, we're going to be able to get to another move, which is amazing for us. And we do get to it. I throw the Feather Dance now because of how low they are. I think. Do I throw the Feather Dance? No, I just go for the straight Brave Bird and they let it go. Okay. So in comes Charizard. We want to get to one more attack. But that Shadow Charizard gets to an attack. But it's definitely worth it. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it's definitely worth it because we want to forever... This Charizard is the last Pokemon that my opponent has. If we throw a Feather Dance, we want to forever debuff it. So we're going to be able to do it. Now it's forever debuff for the rest of the battle, right? Double debuffed. You'll love to see it. So it's not a Shadow. Essentially, it's not a Shadow anymore because it's double debuffed. We do get that shield there. Very nice. And beautiful counting by my opponent there. Blast Burn is going to KO even though we're double debuffed. But the good thing is Cresselia will be able to survive a Blast Burn, and it should be able to get to a Stone Edge. And they actually go for the Blast Burn. I actually wasn't sure if I would be able to make it. I know Charizard's going to win CMP, but we are able to make it thanks to that double debuff from Pidgeot. So that shield 100% mattered. And this is going to KO that Charizard. So good game, well played to my opponent, and we're going to be able to take that one. So double debuff from that Charizard definitely came in clutch there. So good game. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. We do have that Defense Deoxys. We do have a Trevenant. So, okay, I battled 3 Trevenant leads in this series, and I beat all of them. Now, it's not a good match. Obviously, it's a bad lead. And going into Cresselia is bad as well, because Cresselia, even though you're not weak to Shadow Ball, still not a good matchup. But if you're able to win the secondary matchup, which you really, really want to try to do, because then you have Pidgeot and Trevenant, then that's how you win. So they did get a shield from us, and they tried to catch a Stone Edge. Luckily, we did not throw, and they did not catch a Stone Edge. So I'm going to go ahead and commit the shield right now, because as I said, we do really want to win this secondary matchup here. So we do throw the Sacred Sword. Let's see if they decide to shield. I think my opponent actually lets it go, which is really good for me because we have the Pidgeot for that Trevenant later. They do go ahead and throw an attack, and Shadow Ball's going to KO, I believe, should KO, but that's totally fine because, again, we have the Pidgeot. Now, we are down a shield, so we do have to keep that in mind. They do switch out into Swampert. So unlike the Registeel where I didn't throw the Feather Dance, I am going to permanently debuff this Swampert because they're forever debuffed. And then we bring in this Deoxys right now. They're going to be able to throw an Earthquake, but we survive multiple Earthquakes now. So look how much Earthquake did. Nothing for it being an Earthquake, right? And they just concede there because they were debuffed, and they couldn't switch out to reset the debuff right now. So we're going to be able to take that win. Great game to my opponent. Moving on to the next one, Deoxys into Obstagoon. You absolutely love to see it. Yes, we're weak to Night Slash, but they're double weak to counter. They're going to bring in Muk. This is a great matchup for Cresselia because Cresselia resists every single move. It resists the Acid Spray, it resists the Sludge Wave, Gunk Shot, whatever it has, Dark Pulse, right? So this is a great matchup where you can get a lot of energy for the next matchup afterwards. So they're going to be able to throw an attack, totally fine. Dark Pulse, as you can see, we resist it, not doing much at all. We're charging up, charging up, charging up. And they're going to be able to throw another attack. But again, it doesn't really matter. We don't care. Where I'm going to go ahead and throw this Sacred Sword right now. Do I undercharge this? Yeah, I do undercharge it a little bit. Now that undercharge allowed them to get off another move. So maybe not the best undercharge just because they were able to get to another move. But we do still get, it's obviously not going to KO us. Plus we still get the energy. So I think it was fine. And it's Cresselia. So Cresselia is kind of tough. Cresselia is kind of tough for this team, not going to lie. But, I mean, at this point in time, we're looking really good because we're going to be able to get off these Stone Edge attacks into the Cresselia. So now it doesn't matter. But generally speaking, Cresselia, I would say, is pretty difficult. They're going to be able to throw an attack totally fine. A Grass Knot should be enough to KO us. Keep in mind we are debuffed from the Acid Spray, so we do get KO'd from that, but that's fine. So in comes my Pidgeot. They're going to be able to throw an attack. Do I let this one go or do I shield it? I do shield it because I'm thinking, I mean, we don't really need shields against that Obstagoon with Deoxys, right? I actually throw the Feather Dance here, and they don't shield, so they switch out and we switch out as well. Yeah, I didn't think they were going to shield, so maybe throwing the Brave Bird into the Cresselia. Again, as I said, I make a couple of mistakes, but at the end of the day, like, this one doesn't really matter. Like, for this one, Feather Dance I think was fine. Brave Bird would have been fine as well. We're going to go for the Rock Slide. They're going to go ahead and shield that, and they're just throwing Obstructs against me. They're going to continue to throw Obstruct. So we're going to be able to get off this Rock Slide, and they do actually go ahead and commit that shield. Very nice. We're just going to let this go. At this point, I'm just saving the shield for Pidgeot. They can throw a Night Slash at me. They don't. They throw an Obstruct, hoping to pick up a shield, I guess. Unless if they're running Obstruct and Crush Shot, which I guess could be a thing, because this is going to be another Obstruct. But even if it's a Night Slash, and even if it KOs me, I don't really care, to be honest. We're going to go ahead and throw the Rock Slide right now, and they actually concede there. So that's going to be a great game. Very well played to my opponent there. So yet another win. With this team, we're going to go ahead and move into the next battle. So we do have Defense Deoxys into Tapu Fini. So again, not a matchup I like, but I do usually stay in here. If you think it's better going into Cobalion, let me know. But I've been staying in with the Deoxys and just throwing the Rock Slides. We can win if we shield once and they don't shield at all, which has been happening. But then you do go down a shield, but as you can see, we're going to go ahead and shield here. I do expect the Moonblast because, again, we're so tanky. They don't know if we're going to shield or not. So that was a good shield by me. We're going to be able to go for a Rock Slide right now just to get us some decent damage, getting them low. And now a Psycho Boost is going to be enough to KO. So yeah, this is going to be enough to KO the Tapu Fini unless they shield. And yeah, they don't shield. So we do take that matchup. And in comes Trevenant. Now they're going to get a lot of farm against us. But Pidgeot, as I mentioned earlier in the video, does not care about that energy, right? The only issue is if they save that energy for later, right? And possibly use it against the Cobalion in some way. They're going to go ahead and switch out. So this is another situation where I should have debuffed before switching out into my Cobalion, especially since I was down a shield, right? So definitely a mistake on my end. But it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and go for this Sacred Sword right now. And we do pick up that shield. We go for another one. And we're going to pick up the second shield from my opponent. And they do go ahead and shield that. Totally fine. They're going to be able to throw a Sacred Sword at us. This is going to KO me unless if I shield it. And I do shield it because I do want to get off another Sacred Sword. I remember this game. This is going to be my one loss. So we're going to be able to throw this Sacred Sword. But it's not enough to KO, unfortunately. And they're able to get off a Stone Edge, which is really unfortunate for me. Now the Trevenant has loaded energy. The Trevenant is going to be able to win this matchup, unfortunately. So I shouldn't have shielded. I should have saved the shield for the Pidgeot, right? So I could have protected myself against the Stone Edge. And plus, I should have debuffed the Cobalion first. So definitely mistakes on my end, but it's okay. You know, it's a learning process. We'll take that loss. Good game to my opponent. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, bad matchup. So we're going to go ahead and go straight into Cobalion and try to win the secondary matchup. Now, a lot of times I will say they do switch out because they do want to save it. Even though it's a good matchup for Trevenant, they do want to save the Trevenant for the Deoxys unless they have another hard answer to it in the back, right? So we just have to try to win this matchup. We're going to go ahead and shield. Definitely going to be a Flame Charge. We're going to be able to throw this Sacred Sword right now. Kind of risky to double bait, but at the end of the day, they really want to win Switch, and they do shield, so we do get both the shield. So now we're going to be able to win Switch, which is huge, because Pidgeot really wants to introduce itself to that Trevenant. As I said, we do have to win the secondary matchup, so we're going to be able to go for the Stone Edge right now, and this is going to KO that Talonflame. So again, they will get a lot of farm, but it's okay. We did our job. We won the secondary matchup. So Pidgeot and shield it even, which is better than being down a shield, right? So Pidgeot's gonna love to introduce itself to that Trevenant, and we'll see what's in the back. We'll see if Deoxys can handle it. It's a Walrein. You absolutely love to see it. So if we lost the secondary matchup, we would have lost this game, but we were able to win it. The double baits paid off. Sometimes I don't bait, sometimes I do. It really depends how you're feeling. Do you think the opponent will shield? If they didn't shield, they would have won that matchup. But if I didn't bait, we would have won that matchup. So yeah, it could go either way. Either way, they're going to be able to throw an attack at us, but totally fine. Not really a big deal. Going to be an Icicle Spear. We don't really care. I actually click on my Rock Slide. I don't know why. I could have farmed down. It doesn't really matter. Pidgeot does not care. They go for the Icicle Spear. We're going to go ahead and go for this Rock Slide. This will be enough to KO. Totally fine. And now we switch into the Pidgeot. And of course, this is an amazing matchup. As we know, right? We've seen multiple times. We'll just go for this Brave Bird, and they're going to concede. And that's going to be a great game, very well played to my opponent. So again, beating the Trevenant lead. Good game. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. We're going up against Dr. Banner. Okay, picking up a good matchup here because they are weak to counter, but they do go into Pidgeot. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Rock Slide into the Pidgeot right now. So Pidgeot coming in. Kind of tough, they're gonna be able to throw an attack. I think I let this one go because even if it's a break, like we do want to get out of this matchup because we do want to save this Deoxys for later, right? We do go ahead and throw the Psycho Boost. They let it go. It actually doesn't KO, so we bring in Pidgeot, try to farm down, but they actually get to a move, which is unfortunate for me. I'm gonna let it go, and it is a Brave Bird, so that's really unfortunate. But it is what it is. At least we still win that matchup, and we can still have the Deoxys on that Cresselia, right? But they're going to go for the farm. Oh, they're not going for the farm. We could have thrown an attack, but the thing is, if we threw an attack, they would have went for the farm down, right? So, could have thrown an attack, but either way, it's fine. We're going to wait out the switch timer, but we know that the switch timer is ahead. And Noctowl coming in. Okay. A little bit surprising, but I think Noctowl is pretty good, to be honest. Noctowl's actually pretty good Pokemon. I like Noctowl for the Ultra League. Best Buddy, Hundo, level 50, right? I think so. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good Pokemon. So we do shield the Shadow Ball, which is good for us. I expected the Sky Attack, but they actually throw the Shadow Ball. We're going to be able to throw this Rock Slide right now into the Noctowl. And we do pick up that second shield. And now we switch into Cresselia and a Stone Edge. Should be enough. We're going to go ahead and let this go. And going to be Sky Attack, makes sense. And we're watching. We got to watch out for a catch. They do throw another one. We don't want them to catch on their Cresselia, right? Not the Stone Edge. So in comes the Cresselia. We do have two Sacred Swords, so we're going to be able to throw them. We do throw the first one. And the next one, unfortunately, does not KO, though. It will get it low, but it will not KO. And we need one more double kick, and they do get to an attack, which is unfortunate for me. So I do go ahead and shield. I was like, let me shield so we can try to get to his Stone Edge. But they do actually get to the move first, so this is going to KO my Cresselia. So Cresselia goes down, and basically we need to get to the Rock Slide, and we're actually able to get to it. I wonder if a Psycho Boost would have KO'd. Either way, we'll take that game. So good game. Well played to my opponent. GG's Dr. Banner. Always a pleasure to battle. And we're going to go ahead and move into the next battle, and that's going to be another set. We're moving on to the final set. As I said, it's a pretty long video, about 35 minutes, I think. Going up against Greedent. Okay, so not the greatest matchup, even though we're doing super effective damage with counters, because they have crunch, and they get to it fast, and they do super effective damage to us. Plus, if they get the defense drop, it's not ideal for me, right? So we actually, I think, lose this matchup. Let's see. They do go ahead and throw an attack. We know we can take it. We're not going to shield. Not the first one. They do actually get the defense drop, which is unfortunate for me. They're going to be able to throw another crunch. I do survive it, so we do go ahead and take it. Another defense drop. We do go ahead and throw the Psycho Boost right now. I'm hoping to throw the Psycho Boost and then count it down if I can. One more counter. Ooh, they get to an attack. I don't really want to shield it. It's tempting. I decided not to shield it. So they actually beat us in that matchup, and we're going to be able to farm down with the Cresselia. They bring in Scrafty, so we're going to go ahead and throw the Sacred Sword. I mean, I guess we could have tried to catch a crunch with Cresselia. I guess that would have been a good play. But we bring in Pidgeot, and they are staying in and throwing an attack. They're not switching out. So that tells me, I wonder if they're weak to Pidgeot in the back. We're going to go ahead and shield this foul play. They're not weak. They have Talonflame. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Feather Dance right now. Hoping to pick up a shield. I don't expect the shield. They do not shield. But at least we debuffed them, right? So ultimately, that's what we wanted to do. We're going to go ahead and let this go. It's going to be a Flame Charge. So now instead of being double debuffed, they're single debuffed. We're going to go ahead and throw another Feather Dance into the Talonflame, see if they want to shield this. They do not want to shield it, so they're debuffed even further now, and they're going to be able to throw an attack at us. I do let this go. I was hoping that I could wing attack down, but unfortunately I'm not able to. I wanted to wing attack down and then Feather Dance the Pokemon in the back, but the Scrafty in the back, but we actually survive because of all those debuffs, and we're actually able to get off the Feather Dance, which is huge stuff. Oh my gosh, crazy stuff. I thought I was going to lose this, but because of that debuff, we're actually just going to be able to double kick all the way down. That Feather Dance 100% mattered, and all those debuffs into the Talonflame were huge. So yeah, we're going to be able to just double kick all the way down. I do actually, well, what I do is throw a Sacred Sword because I have 2 Sacred Swords. We could have double kicked all the way down, but I do throw the Sacred Sword because we have 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it, and this is going to KO the Scrafty. So again, that Feather Dance, if we didn't get that off, we would have lost this game. But you could argue I should have thrown the Brave Bird into the Talonflame because they were less likely to shield, but if they shielded, that would have been pretty bad for us. But let's go ahead and move into the next one. Walrein lead. I've been seeing quite a few Walrein leads, so Deoxys definitely loves this matchup, and they are staying in, which is really good for me, so we like that. We're going to be able to throw this Rock Slide. Again, I do throw it before they get to the Earthquake. They're going to be able to throw an attack, totally fine. Deoxys doesn't really care about this. We don't need to shield. They do throw an Icicle Spear, that's fine. And I think I'm going for the countdown right now. If they throw an Earthquake, we easily survive it. They do throw an Earthquake. And we do go ahead and counter all the way down. And in comes Giratina. So, Giratina's kind of tough for this team, right? Because Cobalion obviously not doing well against it. Pidgeot does well against it if they don't have Ancient Power. However, they still have Dragon Breath. This one has Dragon Breath, so kind of tough. But look how much damage we're getting off on that Giratina anyway, right? We're going to be able to throw another Psycho Boost, and we do get the Giratina pretty low as is. So, we do have to bring in the Pidgeot. It would be amazing if they don't have Ancient Power. But because they're throwing an attack, I do assume they have Ancient Power, so I am going to go ahead and shield this. And they do have Ancient Power. And I'm just going to go ahead and go straight Brave Bird this time. Anticipating the no shield because they don't want to shield the Feather Dance, but they actually do shield it. In comes Shadow Machamp, so that's why they shielded it. So good shield by my opponent. I didn't think they were going to shield. We go for the Sacred Sword. I think I let this one go. I was hoping I barely lived. I don't live. I don't think I live. No, I don't live. It would have been cool if we lived, but we don't. So right now with Pidgeot, what I'm going to do is farm this Machamp down and go for the Feather Dance into the Giratina and forever debuff that Giratina for the rest of the battle. We're going to go ahead and throw it right now. And yeah, just safely throw this Feather Dance, and they do actually call it. But as long as they don't have 2 attacks, I think we're looking pretty good. We definitely survived this Ancient Power. We wouldn't survive another one. And they don't get to another one. Let's go. GG's. Good game. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. We do have Defense Deoxys into Cobalion. So definitely a good matchup. You love to see it. Let's see what they go into. They go into a Zapdos. So I remember when the Zapdos came in, I was like, now what do I do? I don't know. So what I do is I throw the Rock Slide and they shield. And then I think I switch out into Cobalion. We do switch out into Cobalion, but do we really want to catch this? Right? So I'm going to go ahead and shield. A couple of people in the chat saying maybe stay in with Deoxys because you could take the hits better with Defense Deoxys. I don't know. I mean, we could have stayed in, but I kind of would have liked... I kind of liked the fact that Deoxys will be up against that Cobalion, right? That's why I switched out. It's a Drill Peck. We're going to go ahead and throw the Sacred Sword. Go in for the bait right now. And they actually don't shield it. So, yeah, when I saw Shadow Zapdos, I really didn't know the best play to do, I'll admit. But at least we got the matchup there, so that's good. In comes Cobalion. And we're going to be able to get off a Sacred Sword. So it ended up working out for us. The Sacred Sword is going to not connect because they shield it. They can't fall down unless if they want us to get to another Sacred Sword, so they do go ahead and throw an attack, and we can have the Deoxys on this Cobalion, which is really good. That's what we want. And they do switch out into Pidgeot. So in this matchup, I know Pidgeot survives the Brave Bird, so that's why I'm not going to throw, I want them to throw a Brave Bird at me, and they do actually throw a Brave Bird at me. So now their Pidgeot will not survive the Brave Bird because they threw a Brave Bird and they debuffed themselves. So probably should have thrown the Feather Dance, but that's okay. We're trying so hard to get... No, I mean, they probably should have thrown the Feather Dance, but again, it's okay. And we're going to bring in Deoxys. So I'm like, so yes, this is a good matchup. As a Stone Edge, still adding up. But we do survive. A couple of them, so we're going to be able to survive this one. Totally fine. And we don't survive another one, but we're going to be able to get off 2 Psycho Boost attacks, which will KO the Cresselia. I'll admit, I was kind of confused on how to play against that Zapdos, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I'm not going into Pidgeot, but, like, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think. Should I have stayed in? Should I have thrown the attack and switched like I did? I could have thrown a Psycho Boost, so I didn't use up all that energy, because they were likely to shield, but either way, that's fine. Okay, going up against an Alolan Muk. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go into Pidgeot, and they do switch out into Wolverine. Okay, so Cresselia has a dominating matchup against Alolan Muk. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this attack, and they do not shield, which is huge. So now I really want to win this matchup. Let's see if we can. We're going to go ahead and invest the shields, because this is obviously a bad matchup. Because they have Shadow, and because they let the Brave Bird go, we're going to try to win this matchup, even going down 2 shields. So I do go ahead and shield that Icicle Spear. I could have made... I got a little bit nervous. That's why I clicked on the move. Maybe I could have fallen down. But anyway, that's fine. I got a little bit nervous. So at least we have the Cresselia on the Alolan Muk, which is ultimately what we want. So we're going to bring it in. They're going to be able to throw an attack, but we resist every single move. So it doesn't really matter what they go for. It's Acid Spray. I wonder what's in the back. Ooh, Virizion. Okay. So they're going to be able to throw an attack at us. Stone Edge or Leaf Blade, whichever one they have, it's going to be Leaf Blade. We're going to be able to survive that. And I do throw the bait because this does not debuff us. Even though it takes more energy, it doesn't debuff us. But they actually call it and they don't shield, which is really unfortunate for me. Would have liked them to shield. But I don't want to debuff my counter attacks. That's why I threw the Rock Slide, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and throw the Psycho Boost now. Expecting the shield, and I believe they do shield. Yeah, they do shield. Makes sense. And they do throw an attack, but I actually think I live it. I actually think I live this one. I do live it. Defense Deox is so tanky, and they bring in Muk, and I'm going to go ahead and... The fact that they switched into the Muk, I think that gave me a win condition. I think they were going to win if they didn't switch into the Muk. Because now I can get energy and fire off attacks into that Virizion, right? Because we could take Acid Sprays and Dark Pulse attacks all day long. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and take this, and it's gonna be another Acid Spray. So I'm thinking maybe they're throwing Acid Sprays and then they're gonna throw a Dark Pulse at me. But I was still confident, even with being double debuffed, I was still confident I was gonna live this one. But they just throw another Acid Spray at us. And they bring in Virizion right now. Now we're like triple debuffed or something. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw these Sacred Sword attacks. We do go ahead and pick up the shield, and we do go ahead and throw this other one. This is going to connect, and then we're gonna switch out and get to the Psycho Boost, and this is gonna KO the Virizion. And we're gonna actually be able to win this game. They still have the Muk in the back, but it's like at 1 HP. If they didn't switch out, I think they would have won that one. But anyway, good game to my opponent. We're able to take that one. Let's go ahead and move into the next battle. We have Defense Deoxys into Muk. Okay. So the thing about we can't really switch out because, yeah, we can't really switch out because Pidgeot does not like Thunder Punch. So we're gonna go ahead and stay in and go for the bait, even though it takes more energy to get to. We don't want to debuff ourselves quite yet. I think I'm gonna throw the. I mean, the counters are resisted anyway. They do have a Dark Pulse, which of course I knew, but we're gonna be able to throw the Psycho Boost now. Yeah, Cantonian Muk, kind of difficult. I guess Cresselia probably would be a little bit better, but we can't really go into that. I'm going to go ahead and switch. It's going to be a Dark Pulse. That's a good shield by me. I do go ahead and throw. I could have farmed up more, but I wasn't sure where they were at in terms of energy. So we're going to knock out that. In comes Trevenant, which is good that they bring in a Trevenant. And obviously, like, if you take the first matchup, if they have a Trevenant, they're going to bring in the Trevenant and try and farm down. Right? It makes sense. So at least you'll know that the Pidgeot is going to have a super matchup, like a dominating matchup, right? So they actually throw it in attack, so totally fine. We're going to go ahead and take this. And they do switch into Wolverine, and of course we bring in our buddy Cresselia. Again, like previous situations, we could have debuffed first, but I was totally fine with not doing that in this situation. And the thing is, we do survive an Earthquake. Plus, we still have a shield. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. Hoping it's not a bait, and it's not a bait. Again, we do survive that Earthquake. That's a non-Shadow Wall Rain. So we're going to go ahead and charge up enough for 2 Sacred Swords, throw 1 Sacred Sword, and this is going to be a good matchup. They still have a shield. They are going to go ahead and shield, but we do have another one. And this is going to connect, okay. And if they get off an Earthquake, totally fine, because as I said, we survive it. And even if we didn't survive it, it wouldn't matter anyway at this point. But yeah, it does do a lot. We switch in Pidgeot immediately to try and snipe, but they actually switch, and yeah, that's going to be a good game. We're going to be able to win that one. So I believe that's the end of the video. Yeah, over 35 minutes. Let me know if you stayed the whole time, and I really do appreciate all of you getting back into the 2500s. Yeah, and thank you so much again, everyone, for watching and sticking it out. I really do appreciate that. If you try this team, let me know. If you have success with it, let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Thank you so much for watching again. Bye.